Are you ready to prime your focus, to move past scattered days and channel your energy into what really matters? This is Primed for ADHD, the podcast for high-functioning women who want simple, brain-friendly ways to feel more in control. I'm your host, Andrea Toole, ADHD coach and educator. Hey, and welcome to Primed for ADHD. If you're new here, I'm really glad you found this podcast. And if you listened to the earlier episodes years ago, thank you for being here again. It's been a while, about 4 years since I last released an episode. And interestingly, people kept finding those older episodes anyway. And that told me something important. It told me that the need for grounded, practical ADHD conversations never went away. So this season of the podcast isn't a restart, it's a return with more clarity. Because ADHD doesn't disappear once you find a planner or a system that sort of works, or even once you're medicated. ADHD shows up everywhere, in work, in relationships, in health, and especially in how we see ourselves. And that's what this podcast is here for. Over the past few years, my work has changed. I now focus primarily on high-functioning women in midlife, women who look like they have it together, but quietly, they feel scattered, exhausted, or unsure why the strategies that once worked don't anymore. Some of that is life, some of that is hormones, some of it is energy and focus shifting in ways no one prepared us for. Our parents made it look so easy, didn't they? And that's where ADHD often becomes louder and not quieter. And that's also why I created the PRIMED framework. PRIMED is a 6-part system that looks at physical health, that's the P. R is routine. I is intake, like food and really anything you put in your body, food, drink, etc. Supplements, anything. The M in primed stands for mental state, the E stands for environment, and the D stands for downtime. So not to add more to your plate, but to help you build structure that actually supports you without rigidity or self-pressure. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about working with how your brain functions now. And the beauty of primed is it's not one size fits all. The way you apply each of those 6 pillars, as I call them, can vary from person to person. So if we're going to look at the P for physical exercise, maybe you're a runner, maybe you hate running. If you're a runner, run. If you prefer yoga, do yoga. That's just a simplistic example, but we work with your preferences as long as you are keeping these 6 pillars in balance. So this podcast is for the women who overthink, who carry a lot of responsibility, and who keep things running even when it costs them. It's for the ones everyone relies on, but who rarely feel fully caught up or settled. And even though I speak directly to women in midlife, the tools and conversations here apply to adults with ADHD at any stage. If you've ever felt capable and overwhelmed in the same breath at the same time, you are in the right place. This season of the podcast includes 10 weekly episodes. So we'll start with practical foundations, like how to build a 30-day anchor plan that sticks and how coaching differs from therapy. We'll talk about what happens when ADHD meets perimenopause, sleep changes, appetite shifts, and irritability that feels out of character, like I had today when I found myself yelling at my dog and felt really bad about it. And we'll go deeper into the primed pillars, breaking them down in a way that's realistic and usable. Each episode stands on its own, so you can listen in whatever order you need. And in every episode ends with something small you can try right away, because clarity only matters if it leads to action. My goal here is simple, to help you feel steadier without losing your edge. So if you're new here, make sure you follow or subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. You can find show notes and resources at andreatoolecoach.com. And remember, ADHD isn't about doing more. It's about creating a life that works for your brain. I'll see you next week.